at the most vulnerable time of her life. And so she's paralyzed. I tell that story to every child porn defendant as a part of my sentencings so that they understand what they have done. I say to them that there's only a market for this kind of material because there are lookers, that you are contributing to child sex abuse, and then I impose a significant sentence and all of the additional restraints that are available in the law. These people are looking at 20, 30, 40 years of supervision. They can't use their computers in a normal way.
Can't use the computers in a normal way, but have found a way in this era. Everything is smart. They've gotten away through a video game, through a smartphone, through a lot of these games that our kids are, through a lot of the games that our kids are using. The sex offenders have found their way to reach our kids. And this is what they're failing to realize. There needs to be something harsher. This is my opinion. If y'all agree with me, let me know. If you don't agree with me, let me know. But we need to start talking about this. We need to bring more awareness about this. How can we prevent this? How can us, the people, bring people into the community, like Congress? Like, what are we going to do to make a difference and a change when it comes to all of this? Are we going to keep sitting down and watch how the crime and the violence raise? What are we going to do to make a difference?
They don't talk about us, only when there's a crime. Would you believe me if I was to tell you that in this world, with or without money, we're all rich, even the poor? The problem is those that say that I'm reaching out to give a hand and stay they leeching hands is itching, ready to see you missing. Well, thinking what to write, something inside me told me I can freestyle or I can rap. I can go with a rhythm that can make you dance. Tell you what I see on a daily, tell you everything's okay just to avoid dilemma. Or I can simply bring you something positive to the table and warn you of the ongoing problems that we're having. Instead, I have to reach out to my conscience once again as I watch the crime and the violence rise and the kids lose their innocence. Now the concept of forming a home day by day loses its essence. They don't want to hear that. I can't keep my arms crossed in front of the system. If I don't do something, I'm also part of the problem. As guilty as the one that pulls the trigger, like the person in the crowd that hits the record button on their phone to expose a lie instead of the truth for clout. They need 1,000 views. The government doesn't have a solution. The problem started when we took God out the equation. The problem ain't us celebrating. The problem is that we a nation divided when we should be a nation united and praying. That's how we live today. When problems occur, we come up with a meaning. Laugh a little, move on with no care in the world, as if it ain't even a thing in this world. If it's like this today, I don't want to see the future. Cause nowadays, they'll make a meme out of a person that can't even see the day of light no more. What makes you think they care? They can't even break bread at the table. I don't know how you want to be rappers and lyricists can go on with life, living on an illusion of nothing good to write. Talking about killing someone, selling drugs with pride, until the scripts are flipped and it's someone you love dies. Right? This ain't solved by activating the National Guards and going behind bars. This is deeper, this is me and you. And they say as time passed by, we'll heal everything. Shit, you know these scars? I seen time flash by and never felt everything. Leaving me on standby, ready to kill everything. Alone in the mirror looking at myself, say, girl, you're everything. You don't need for anything, shorty. So unless you walk a mile in my shoes, don't say anything. Just take a minute and listen so you can consume everything. Me and you are not the same, so make sure you look both ways when you cross me, and that's on everything.
And that poem right there says it all. Like, it took me one day, somebody said this isn't based on emotion or your personal experience. She's talking about the law, and this is the whole point. This is why I'm talking and I'm saying what I'm saying. See, when you speak and you say things like this, people get in their feelings. No, see, I'm not in my feelings. I'm actually speaking facts. I'm actually speaking facts. I gave her props and everything. Like, she's a great judge, but I believe that her hands are tied because of Congress.
For decades,
Listen, I want
I
y'all to
am
listen.
imposing all of those constraints because I understand how significant, how damaging, how horrible this crime is.
It should be noticed as well that the cases which the senator from Missouri referred to yesterday all result in incarceration of some magnitude. In the one case, the Hilly case, I want to quote what you said on the record. This family has been torn apart, speaking to the defendant, by your criminal actions. You saw it on the faces of those women, you heard it in their voices, and the impact of your acts on those very real victims who are still struggling to recover this day makes your crime among the most serious criminal offense this court has ever sentenced, and you impose a sentence of 29 and a half years on that defendant. So the notion that you look at this casually or with leniency, as the senator said, your record belies that. And in fact, what we're dealing with here is an issue which even this committee and members on the committee have been loath to address again. The original law was written at least 9 or 10, maybe longer years ago, and the quantity of material was relevant to the sentencing. And now that we have computer access to voluminous amounts of material, it has raised the question, has it not, within the judiciary as to the appropriate sentencing in today's circumstances. This was a question that was raised before the Sentencing Commission, was it not?
It was, Senator. The Sentencing Commission has written at least one report it did when I was there, looking at the operation of this guideline. As you said, the guideline was based originally on a statutory scheme and on directives, specific directives by Congress at a time in which more serious child pornography offenders were identified based on the volume, based on the number of photographs that they received in the mail. And that made total sense before, when we didn't have the internet, when we didn't have distribution. But the way that the guideline is now structured, based on that set of circumstances, is leading to extreme disparities in the system because it's so easy for people to get volumes of this kind of material now by computers. So it's not doing the work of differentiating who is a more serious offender in the way that it used to. So the commission has taken that into account, and perhaps even more importantly, courts are adjusting their sentences in order to account for the changed circumstances. But it says nothing about the court's view of the seriousness of this offense.
Judge, there have been several news organizations that have taken a look at the senator from Missouri's charges. ABC News, CNN News, the Washington Post, and others have concluded that they are inaccurate and unfair to you in their conclusions. In fact, one writer said they are meritless to the point of unacceptable levels. Nationally, in 2019, only 30% of non-production child pornography offenders received a sentence within the guidelines range. Fewer than 30%. Between 2015 and 20...
So once again, who's wrong? Are these judges' decisions being, bound? Like, are they fighting hard enough? Like, are they in the right? Does Congress got to do better in changing the laws? Like, who's wrong? Like, she gave lenient sentences to a lot of these sex offenders. Like, regardless of anything, she could have gave them the max. For real. Like, she's a real good judge on everything else. Like, I want her. I'm not sure this is still going. Like, I'm not sure if they're gonna have another live on this. But
2020 in the D.C. District Court where you served, Judges imposed below guideline sentences in non-production cases 80% of the time for the reasons you've just explained. Judges in Missouri, the home state of the senator who has criticized your record, did so 77% of the time. One particular judge whom the senators supported to become a federal judge by appointment of President Trump, unfortunately, has 77% record. I'm sorry, I'm not sure that this is accurate.
To check that part, y'all can go look it out.
The executive authority to detain people in this way, and there were a lot of questions that the court was asking. The Supreme Court had taken a series of cases to try to understand what are the limits of executive authority, which is important. All of our liberty is at stake if we don't get it right in terms of what the executive can do. The Supreme Court has recently reaffirmed that the Constitution does not get suspended in times of emergency. And so lawyers were trying to help the court to figure out what the executive's power was in this circumstance. And as an appellate defender, I worked on the habeas petitions of some of these detainees. My petitions were virtually identical because we had very little information. Part of the issue at the very beginning of these cases was that most of the factual information was classified. So
So who has the power? Once again, Congress or the judges? Like, these judges get but so little information. Y'all heard her say it. So how can this change? What can we, the people, do to change these laws to help these judges give better sentences when it comes to sex offenders, guys?
Counsel were appointed to represent these defendants. We had no facts, and I was making legal arguments about the circumstances. That is what gave rise to my representation, and I would just emphasize that that's the role of a criminal defense lawyer. Criminal defense lawyers make arguments on behalf of their clients in defense of the Constitution and in service of the court.
Judge Jackson, those of us who read about the workings of the Supreme Court realize it's a close relationship among the justices. You've seen it personally as a clerk and as an attorney yourself. I'm going to close with one question here that comes to my mind. I was in the House of Representatives when the war on drug measure was passed 30 years ago or so. It was at the advent of crack cocaine. It scared the hell out of us. The notion of a cheap narcotic, highly addictive, destructive to mothers and their fetus, led us to impose a sentencing disparity between crack and powder cocaine that was unprecedented, 100 to 1. Our notion was to come down hard, make it clear that it was a federal standard, impose that standard, and stop the advance of crack cocaine. We failed from the outset. The price of cocaine, crack cocaine on the street went down, up instead of down. I'm sorry, I did that wrong. Down instead of up. And the number of users went up instead of down. And we found ourselves in a position where we were filling federal prisons with violations primarily for possession.
I get his point. But as y'all can see, Congress got the power to really change these laws, and us, the people, got the power to put the people into Congress to change these laws. But who can we put into power? Who can we put into office that would actually help us, the people? Like, this live isn't based, I just gave my opinion. And along with my opinion, of course, how I feel sometimes comes along. But regardless, is my opinion what I think. So, like I said, I want to know your opinion, what y'all think, because maybe together we can come with conclusions. Like, this channel is not about hating or bringing beef upon anybody or starting any beef. This channel is about trying to bring solutions to the table. Let's bring solutions to the table. We see the problem. We see the problem that this judge is facing right now. And I believe that she wouldn't have her hands tied and she can give the right, the right judgment that she would want to give if her hands wasn't as tied as they were by Congress. She has to follow the rules. So regardless of anything, she has to set her emotions to the side and not care about, the victim or care about the perpetrator. She has to sit here and abide by the rules. So her emotions and her feelings got to get set to the side. She, at the end, like she says, at the end of every case, she'll sit here and tell the defendant where they went wrong and how they hurt the plaintiff, the person that they did the crime to. But at the end of the day, a story and explaining to them isn't going to help change the fact that this perpetrator is back out on the streets lesser than 2 years. Lesser than 2 years. Like in other cities and states, they'll actually either go to the maximum amount that they have to, for a crime like this, or they'll castrate the person that committed the crime when it's a sex offending crime. Oh my God. This stuff like this is really hard to talk, especially when you're on, when you want to give your opinion, because you're going to get put down by a lot of people. They're like, oh, you and your... No, it's not about you being in your feelings. It's about us bringing more awareness. How can we prevent stuff like this? Like I said it, I was showing it. That was a comment that was left. This live isn't based on me, on my personal emotions or experience at the end of the day. So that, y'all can scratch it out. This live, let me put my face right here. This live is based on us coming together, on us trying to find solutions, bringing solutions to the table. I would like for a lot of celebrities, a lot of, athletes, a lot of bloggers, a lot of people that are doing podcasts to bring more and more awareness about situations like this. And maybe we could probably help. You can tell that the judge cares. But following the rules isn't helping our kids. Her hands are tied because of the rules she's got to follow that Congress put in place. So the question once again, are certain judges' hands tied because of Congress, because of the laws that they put out here? What can we do to change these type of laws to make a difference in our communities and help put away these sex offenders that us parents want to put away? Me, as a person, I really do believe that a lot of us need to start speaking up, not shutting up like they used to make us do back in the day. We have technology now, smart TV, smartphones, smart everything, that there's no need to stay shut. A lot of y'all want to bring out y'all want to bring out y'all dirty laundry onto social media and create chaos. But when it's time to bring a solution to the table, you hear everybody say stuff like this. This isn't based on your personal experience. She is arguing the law, bro. We get that part. What are we, the people, going to do to back her up? Had to speak just like you, because I haven't seemed to found somebody that could be, that could, bring and start a great conversation when it comes to a good conversation when it comes to bringing solutions to the table. Speaking on how you feel is one thing. Bringing the solution to the table and other people saying, oh, no, y'all just sugarcoating or want to just prolong the situation. Nah, we want to find the solutions. We want to find a way to help these judges that do really want to put in a harsh sentence but can't. But how can we do that? Do we put the right people in Congress? And if it's about putting the right people in Congress, Who is the right people to put in Congress? Because everybody that we vote or everybody that we put in, the ones that do vote, because a lot of people don't vote, everybody's too worried about voting for the president. The president can do only but so much. How about sitting here and put your votes in for the mayor, the senator, the Congress people? All of them count. But you don't see a lot of y'all standing up to go put that vote in. Maybe y'all Shorty wrong. I don't know. Maybe y'all Shorty wrong. But as far as I'm concerned, if it's about the kids, if it's about the kids' future, then us, the adults, us, the parents, us that got, the rights to speak and talk and do this and do that, need to start standing up and speaking up and stop talking like this. Just because we bring a certain topic up, right, and then we bring how we feel in our opinion, doesn't mean that we're not trying to bring a solution to the table. Us giving our opinion and our solution, our opinion and our feelings into it is just letting y'all know how we feel about this. And I'm not going to stop saying and thinking how I feel about this. And I believe that us, the people, can make a difference, can make a change. If we leave the ignorance behind, if we leave the negativity behind, if we make a stand. How many more people we need like him? Oh, y'all just on y'all feelings. Jeez, what is the law doing for us? Tell me, what is the law doing for us when it comes to putting away these sex offenders? What are we doing? Y'all just like watching the videos, right? That's it. Y'all just love it. Y'all just love watching the videos. Y'all just love watching these kids lose their wings. So I made this shirt. Ain't nobody ever gonna get me this thought out of my head. Our kids' wings are getting clipped too early. Heaven's playground is getting full. Because we got people only thinking about them. What are we gonna do to change these laws? Are we gonna stand up? Or are we gonna keep staying quiet? How can we help this judge make any difference? How can her opinion matter? Ooh, the confirmation came up.
Of crack cocaine, hundreds of thousands. Senator Vest.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome again to our committee. I got home last night about 8 o'clock.
No.
A way in which Congress had given the authority to the Department of Homeland Security.
The law specifically says that Homeland Security, not the courts, was responsible for making the decision. Could you please explain why you believe a federal court could review something Congress called unreviewable?
Thank you, Senator, for allowing me to address that opinion and my analysis with respect to it. As you said, Make the Road was a case involving a challenge to expedited removal, which was a way in which Congress had given the authority to the Department of Homeland Security to make a decision about how to deport people who are non-citizens. Prior to the challenge that I heard, the Department of Homeland Security, since it received that authority several decades ago, had decided that people who were in this country for up to 14 days and are found within 100 miles of the border are subject to expedited removal. The challenge that I heard involved the department's sudden shift to a determination that expedited removal would be applied to anyone who was found anywhere in the country and who had been here up to.
So as y'all can see, I already got my conclusion. I see that her hands are really, really tied through Congress. I know that she did every case following by the rules, but at the end of the day, the only thing I wish she would have did was given them a harsher sentence. She did have the power for that. But does Congress got the power to give these judges the power to really sentence these sex offenders the right way? What is y'all opinion? What do y'all think? Let me know. And how can we bring a solution for this? What can we do as the people to find a solution to help judges like this? What can we do? All right, y'all. That's all the time that I got for right now. I hope that y'all understood what I was trying to do with this live. But something has to be done. Like, if we're going to really follow the rules, why not follow the rules the right way? Are we following rules that are just being made up as time goes by? Like, what's going on? Because, like, I'm not the only one with that type of opinion that these sex offenders deserve more time behind bars. Or, in my personal opinion, they should just let the law pass by and let them get castrated. That's my opinion. Get mad at me if you want, but at the end of the day, that's how I feel. I don't go to nobody's platform and tell them, no, you're wrong for that, for your opinion, or for how you feel. This is my channel. This is my platform. The reason that I started this channel was to speak up, not to shut down or let anybody bring me down or tell me that my opinion doesn't matter or that what I am saying is, listen, you got your platform. Don't you speak on the topic and give your opinion. That goes to everybody. If you want to say something negative, speak on the topic. Speak on that topic that I am talking about. I gave my opinion and I gave a statement on how I feel. And I feel as though that we need to do something more to help these judges give more of a sentence to these sex offenders. It's that simple. So next time, this y'all Shorty Rachel. I hope all of y'all have a blessed and humble day. I hope all of y'all continue to have a blessed and humble day.
This world is crazy. I would say shady. Ironic, right? Nowadays, you can't trust no one. When you do